Hey everyone, this is Kevin from thechesswebsite.com, and today we're going to be going over the pin knight trap. Many times when you play knight to f3, your opponent's going to get their bishop pinned down your knight to your queen, and you don't know what to do. So we're going to go over a trap where you can actually use that to your advantage. This can happen in lots of different openings. I'm going to show it through the lens of the King's Gambit just because I play a lot of King's Gambit, and I see it come up quite often. So the King's Gambit starts out with e4, e5, f4, and then we are going to look at the decline line. So bishop c5, knight to f3, and then pawn d6. Now this is the preferred method that Bobby Fischer used to play with this d6 opening up for the light square bishop. But a lot of players like to bring their dark square bishop out of the pawn chain before they play d6. Now we are going to play bishop c4, attacking the pawn on f7. And then they're going to play bishop g4, getting that light square bishop involved into the game and pinning our knight to the queen. One thing I always like to do if my opponent does pin down my knight to the queen is look for a strong attack with my light square bishop on the f7 square. Now you can see right now that it would make a lot of sense for me to take with my bishop on f7. They could just take, and I don't really have a strong attack. If I just come to knight g5, check, well, then they could just take with their queen. Yes, we can take their queen, but then they take our queen, and we're going to end up pretty far behind in material. Now, if you look at where else the knight can come to, it can come to e5, but then they just take with their pawn. That would be ideal because as soon as we move our knight, there is a discovered attack with our queen. But the problem is this pawn on d6. It's pretty pesky. So knowing that's the idea, we have the move pawn takes e5. And after they recapture with their pawn, we have now laid the trap. And so now we can actually take with our bishop on f7. And if they were to take with their king, now we can play knight takes e5, check. Notice that we are moving our knight out of the way. We are exposing our queen, but only if we can check our opponent. Which, if your knight is on f3, as soon as the bishop sacrifices itself on f7, then when you come up to either e5 or g5, you are going to be having a discovered attack with your queen on the bishop, and you are going to be checking that king. Now, if they don't want to take our bishop, that's completely fine as well. They could come to f8. If you don't want to take our material, that is a-okay with us. We could always bring our bishop back to b3. We could bring our rook to f1. We have multiple options if they don't take our bishop. Now, if we come back to this situation, you notice that in the King's Gambit, yes, we have our pawn on f4, and that allows us to get this defender from d6 to exchange on e5. But if you're not playing the King's Gambit, how can this come up? Well, there's a few ways that it could. One is maybe this queen has moved. There's a lot of situations where black is going to move this queen from d8, and as long as it's not protecting the g5 square, even if this pawn's not here on f4, you can come up to g5 after the exchange. So exchange right here, the knight comes to g5. And if the queen's not defending it, you still have the same concept. You don't have to worry about the pawn on d6 moving away because knight coming to g5, assuming the queen's not there, is check, and you have the discovered attack with the queen. So just always in your games, if they try to pin down your knight to f3, sometimes people always play, h3, I got to kick the bishop away. See if you have an opportunity to sacrifice your bishop on f7 and then move your knight to either g5 or e5 with a discovered attack with your queen. And you may potentially need to do an in-between move to get that defender away so you can freely take a piece on e5 or move to g5. But hopefully you guys found this interesting. I see it come up quite a bit. Hopefully you'll start to see it in your own games. Thank you to our sponsor, Skillshare. If you're not familiar, this is a website where you can go and take classes on pretty much any topic that you would like. I'm currently going through one on mobile app development. I get so many questions about, hey, can you take the content on your website and build a mobile app? So I am trying to learn as much as possible on making that a reality. If you are someone that can help, you can feel free to reach out to me and let me know. But definitely learning a lot on this website. And Skillshare is also giving to the first 1,000 people to sign up using the link below or using my code a free 30-day trial. So if you want to support the channel, check out Skillshare with that link or the code, the chess website. So again, Skillshare, first 1,000 people, free month. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you learned something. If you have other topics you want me to cover, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time.